Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of Pickles and Pasta with
Steph.
and Jay. In this week's episode, I'm going to play Steph. Wait, that's not right. Definitely not right. Okay, I guess I haven't had enough coffee today. I am going to work on that. I've got my Have Some Fun Today cup, though, which is apparently in need of an upgrade.
Ooh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know, but I love it so, and it makes me happy to drink from it. So there. So I'm going to.
And I'm wearing my Have Some Fun Today shirt on too.
Awesome. Awesome. I have my Have Some Fun Today.
And I had a few comments from people actually in the elevator about having some fun today.
Really?
Yeah.
I love when that happens. It's nice. It actually really does. It's interesting how it happens, and you really don't know when it's going to come. And sometimes you don't realize you have it on, right? Like you just don't.
Oh yeah. Forget.
You don't think about it, right? Yeah. I remember when we
Yeah.
had that in. It was in Miami, right, where someone said that in the elevator, and she got like all excited.
Oh yeah.
That was neat. Yeah, that was funny. Yeah. Anyway, I hope everybody's having a great week wherever you are on the universe. We are putting along as we do. Weather's been interesting to say the least, but interestingly, everybody I speak to is saying the same thing. Like, I talk to people all over the world, and I get the weird, like, I don't know. I mean, the whole summer it's been like that. Everybody, wherever we go, someone says, I don't even bring it up. People are like, oh my God, they start talking about the weather, like everywhere. It's so, yeah, it's bizarre, but whatever, we'll see. And it's weird, like summer's almost over.
No.
Anyway, crazy.
Flew by.
For those of you who have seen us or heard us before, thank you for coming back. You're very brave, and we appreciate it. And so, just to kind of recap, we kind of go through and bring up certain topics that we think are interesting, that we think we might have some, I don't know, just interesting stuff that we think about that maybe is helpful or useful or funny or make you think a little bit, and hopefully that works. So I'm just going to jump right in to something that it's kind of been on our minds, I guess, for a while since this thing came up, and we'll, I guess, talk about whether it's a fad or not, but protein. And like everywhere you turn, there's this discussion about protein. Like even if you're not into health or wellness or whatever, you kind of can't get away from it. Like people talk about it, it's on the news, it's restaurants, and just there's so much protein and so much protein, and this has 18 grams of protein, and it's and okay, so first on that part, and then we can get to the other part. Like, it's so ridiculously misleading. Like, you look at a package and it says 16 grams of protein per serving, and a serving is like half of the container. And then another time, it's like a teaspoon. And it's like, it's incredible marketing when you think about it. Like, they just throw this sticker on there. So it's got more protein. It must be good for me. I better do it. And it's like, I don't know. And plus, I mean, Steph, you can talk to this more because you pay more attention to it than I do. But from what they tell you, how much protein you can have, like it's not even possible.
Well, I mean, I think it is possible. It's just difficult. And I have this doctor out in LA, Dr. Reed, who is a lovely expert in the field of anti-aging. She's actually the doctor for like tons of A-list celebrities, and she happens to be my sister Lisa's good friend.
Well, you are the number one A-list celebrity she's got.
So I do get to work with Dr. Reed, and she's always asking me about my protein. And, I do blood work, and she in particular is always on me about getting more protein. So that is literally coming right from my doctor. But I just find it crazy because, if you're, a health conscious person who is, having protein and vegetables and really kind of trying to have a very balanced, healthy diet, it's difficult to get the amount of protein that they say that you need. And so if you're just having your normal breakfast and maybe you're getting, 16 to 20 grams of protein in your breakfast, and then, another, 16 to 20 grams at lunch, and then same with dinner, that's not even close. They're talking about doubling that for the actual adequate protein. And this may be more for women. I just had a conversation with a woman today in an appointment I had who was a physical therapist, and she was talking about upwards of 100 grams of protein. And so, like, how do you get that? And then, the question is this just another trend? But the woman today was saying that it's really more about women, and that because women lose so much muscle mass, they are the ones that really need to eat this extra protein because of this muscle loss. And it has to do with our hormones.
So, I mean, I've heard this, and I mean, I'm not a doctor, nor do I play one on TV, but I know a little bit about this stuff more than the average bear. And like, have they honed in on why women lose muscle mass? I mean, everybody loses muscle mass over time, like as you age. That's natural.
It has something to do with our hormone levels dropping with age. Now, I don't know if, because I do the replacement hormone therapy, so I don't know if that is, balancing that out and maybe I'm not losing as much, but I personally have experienced muscle loss, but I'm also not weight training like I used to. I used to weight train
Yeah, like
three to five times a week.
that's kind of part of what I'm thinking is like your lifestyle changes, right? As you get older.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
I say get older, I'm talking about like from 18 to 25, you change, and from 25 to 30, you change. Like your life changes. Like things, if you get a new job, if you move, if you're in a relationship, like whatever, life changes. A family member gets sick or passes away, God forbid. Like there's things that happen, and so you change. So your routine changes. Like I know you used to work out in weights much more. You don't do that so
Mhm.
much anymore. I used to.
I mean, I still do it, but
Yeah,
not as
yeah,
much.
not so much. I'm saying not as much anymore. Like you did
Mhm.
more. I used to be an athlete. I'm whatever the opposite of an athlete is what I am now. And it's like things just change. But I think, look, this protein thing, I don't disagree that we should have protein. Like, I get it. But I think this
Mhm.
just feels so much like everything, every few years or months or whatever,
Yeah,
some
I
new
agree.
shit. Cholesterol's bad for you. Cholesterol's good for you. Drink milk. Don't drink milk. It's
Coffee's good for you. Coffee's bad for you.
okay.
Yeah.
That's coffee is good for you. Full stop. There's
We're
nothing to
getting,
discuss. Like there's nothing to discuss there. That's pathetic. But no, but and look, not to be like you know anything against the man, but like there have been studies that said, well, the reason that they were pushing eggs was because the egg farmers were like pushing, they were lobbying and they were doing this shit. And it's like, okay, I'm not saying I buy into that 100% because I think I think that's a little overdone, but I think a lot of it just is it's a little kooky. Like I think it's just, I still think that a balanced diet. I mean, understanding the basics, right? Like this is your height, this is what you are, this is your shape of your body, which is every little different. There's certain basics, right? There's a certain weight range that is healthy for you. I'm not saying you should be exactly in that. If you're a little over, if you're a little under, I don't think there's anything wrong with any of that sort of stuff. I'm not picking on anybody. Anybody who's a little out of that range, no disrespect. That's not what I'm saying. But there is like medically, statistically, not for everybody, there's certain parameters. And if you're this, you should do this, and how much water, reasonable things. And I think if you just follow those basics, to me, I think that's the way to have the best long term situation in your life, health, physical, mental, everything. I think the gotta go crazy about protein now. I guarantee you, we have this kind. We play this thing back in like not even a year and a half, and there'll be something else. They'll be saying, well, actually, more than 100 things of protein is not too good, and you shouldn't have protein. If you mix the protein with the this, then you're going to do that. And it's like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's kind of
Well,
just
now
funny,
they
so
have
silly.
these powders that you can mix into your water. So now they're basically pushing you to be drinking your protein when you're drinking water. And so when it gets, and of course I have bought it. I did buy one of
No,
those, and I don't like it
joking.
at all.
Wait, hold on. Let me guess. Where did you see it? So you saw it on Instagram.
Yes, can you
Oh my
believe that
goodness,
I
I can't believe it.
an
That's
ad on Instagram that I would purchase?
yeah,
Yeah.
and because it's nothing like anything your mother would ever do, ever.
She's got it down on
She's got
Facebook.
it on
Her
Facebook, but it's the
caffeine
same. You're still
comes
feeding.
from Facebook.
You're still feeding the meta
Yeah.
machine. It's
Yeah.
all about the meta machine.
Yeah. So I think it's healthy to question these things that they're constantly pushing in your face.
100%. Yeah. Look, it's
But I do guarantee the next time I speak with my doctor in LA, she will yell at me about my
you
protein.
tell her to yell at me. I tell you, tell it's Jay's fault. Which leads us into our next topic. But I'm gonna jump. Yeah. Um, okay. Yeah. That's fair. Okay. Well, I think this is a TBD. Like, right, I think we'll see where this goes
Yeah.
and what happens over time. But yeah, I think it's a little overdone, personally.
I mean, just one more comment. The fact that you are now having protein shakes in the morning.
Okay, so all right, now you need to just slow your roll, or just stop. Okay, first of all, I did that because you love me and said it was good for me, and I trusted you, which is we'll move on from that. Okay. But I was eating like bagels and cream cheese and stuff like that was my breakfast like every day. I was having a bagel or bread or something. And of course, over time, the doctor was like, you really should cut down, not having so much cream cheese every day. Like, your cholesterol's getting higher. Like, just regular. I mean, I just wasn't eating
Yeah.
healthy. Like, I get it, regular bread, and so, and then I segued to like yogurt and peanut butter and berries and stuff like that. And then it was just like easier. You're like, why don't you try it? Like, I'll make it taste good. And still, for me, it's like when I drink a shake, I don't feel like I'm eating. I mean, that hasn't changed. So, and I don't, and the good thing about, I mean, and I appreciate you doing it. I do. Really, whatever you put in it, I don't even know. One day my arm's going to fall off and I'll be like, no, it's shakes. I just think that I don't eat regularly.
Yeah, no,
So
you have a weird eating pattern.
yeah, I have a so having that shake, even though like you drink your shake and you're done, like 20 minutes, half an hour, you're done for the most part, right? You drink, you eating, and you
I actually haven't been having them.
I know, but when you were having them, I know we're on
Yeah.
to yogurt and some other craziness right now. We'll move
I'm
on
just
to that.
into a new trend.
Yes, we'll
Yeah.
find a new trend soon. Don't worry, darling. Don't get used to it. We'll go to something else soon. I'm sure there'll be a TikTok about it, and it'll be just for you. Regardless, when you used to have your shakes every day, which you did, you made yours, you made mine, whatever. Within half an
Yeah.
hour, you were done with yours. Pretty much, you do it,
Yeah.
you're getting you make up on whatever, you were done. Me, it
Yeah.
takes me 4 hours to finish that damn thing. So I mean, look, I had a meeting with somebody earlier, 12:45 meeting, and she was like lunch. I was like, you can eat. I was like, that's way too early for me. Like, there's no chance I'm having lunch. And like we joked about it, and she's like, well, when do you eat lunch? I said, I don't know, usually 4 or 5. Sure as shit, today I had lunch at 4. Like I didn't think about it, but I looked at the clock and I was like, holy shit, it's 4 o'clock and I'm having lunch.
Yeah, you should you eat like you're in Europe.
I eat like I'm in New York.
Okay.
I mean, this is how I grew up. It's natural for me. Like it's a natural thing for me.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on to our next topic, which is another thing that we have talked about because it's come up not between us at all, but people that we know and experience is the topic of gaslighting. And I think it's a pretty interesting topic. And I don't know if you want to kind of lead in as like what
Yeah, no,
the definition to start with of what gaslighting is actually.
well, I can give my definition. I don't know what Webster would say, but my definition of gaslighting is when other people are not validating your feelings and they're basically telling you that you're not experiencing or feeling this thing that you are clearly telling them that you're feeling and experiencing. So it's a negation of your personal experience from another person. And quite often the person is doing it to you. And I've certainly experienced it.
So while you're saying that, I just popped into my Copilot
Okay.
Gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation in which someone tries to make another person doubt their own perceptions, memories, or sanity. I didn't know
Ooh.
this.
Okay.
The
Yeah.
term comes from the 1938 play Gaslight and its later film adaptations, where a husband manipulates his wife into thinking she's going insane by dimming the gas lights and denying the lighting changed when she notices it.
Oh
Didn't know that's
wow.
where it
That's
came from, but
yeah.
that's
Yeah,
interesting.
that's cool.
That's
That's very
interesting.
cool.
So that's kind of what I've always understood, and I have 100% experienced that with other people who really did. Now, I know I'm insane, so that's you don't have to convince me of that. Like that doesn't help. But what it does, if someone does it to you and they do it well, which means they're evil, you really doubt pretty much everything about yourself. And
Mhm.
it's really a very weird feeling. Like, and I know we've talked about it because we have people we know, like close to us, that have been like, someone's gaslighting me, or they're this person, and they're telling us about it, or whatever. And it's hard to really understand it, but I could tell you, like, when people do it, you're like, if you don't pick up on it, like that it's happening to you, it
Mhm.
can really mess you up. Like, it can
Yeah.
really, really mess you up. You start to
Yeah.
question, forget about your sanity. I mean, which you do. You start to be like, wait, am I crazy? Like, did I not remember that? Did I not go to this place? Was I there? I thought I was there. Like, it can really play with you. And I did. I had a guy who really was really trying to fuck me up in business, and he was horrible. I mean, it was horrible.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Like being I see my daughters a lot. I speak with my daughters a lot. And, we have a lot of very intense, healthy conversations about life and people. And, being in your 20s, from what I learned, when I learn about their experience, I mean, obviously, I remember what it was like for me when I was in my 20s, but to kind of be with them as they are going through a lot of life changing experiences, moving out of a city, moving to a city, leaving a job, leaving a relationship, like they're doing all this adulting stuff. And their life is difficult, as when you're first learning how to adult, I think. There are a lot of challenges that you are now responsible for that perhaps 3 years ago your parents were handling. So there's a lot of there's an adjustment to adulting, and so I do have these conversations with my daughters about this topic, and it's interesting when the three of us are talking, and my daughters are talking about the term gaslighting and the experience of it. And I'm going to be honest, sometimes they have gaslit each other, and sometimes they have gaslit me. And sometimes I have gaslit them unintentionally. But I think the interesting thing about this to me is that I think that we have all probably done it and had it done to us in some way, shape, or form. And I don't think it's always intentional when people gaslight another person. I think it could just be from the way the relationship has gone, and a lack of self-awareness. And I know for myself, my behavior today is very different, even though I'm basically the same person. I think my self-awareness has become more a part of like how I look at my, myself and my own behavior, and like working with my therapist. We're working on my behavior. We're working on my thought patterns and how I navigate relationships and situations. And so I'm becoming more self aware. And I can look back at my 20, 30, 40-year-old self, and I can see how my behavior then like lacked self awareness. And so I think that person back then probably did gaslight other people. So I just think it's interesting to see my 20 something year old daughters recognizing this term and when it's happening to them. And I think it's going to allow them to recognize, you know, that they could be doing it, and then maybe it'll stop the process. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm going to get a little Schweidly here. So,
Okay.
um,
I,
so I hear you, and I think there's a I see a lot of different versions of that. So I think there's gaslighting people, which to just pick on this asshole that used to somebody who I thought was my friend, that was
mm-hmm.
intentional. Okay, there was an intent on his part to to show he was more powerful than me, to make me doubt myself, to ultimately take advantage of me in business situations and manipulate the friendship and do all that stuff. That was intentional. So he would intentionally be, you didn't do this, you said this, you were there, you weren't there, like daily. So that's intentional. Then there's you have an experience, someone else who you have a relationship with, sibling, parent, friend, lover, business, you're in the same room, you're in the same conversation, but your experience is not the same. So there's that, no, that's not what happened. And someone says, no, that is what happened. Okay, that to me is not gaslighting. It crosses over into gaslighting when you try to like manipulate them into saying that they're not valid in their thing. And I think those are slightly different. And I think the reason I'm playing this out in such extremes is I think we do this as a society. Like there's a catchphrase that people use, and then all of a sudden it's for everything. When sometimes it's just like, I don't remember that. Like, how can you not remember that? Like, or, like you did do that. And you're like, no, I didn't do that. Like, there's not like the intent to break that person. You're just frustrated because you thought something happened and they thought something else happened, and that's just part of stuff. So, I know,
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. I do. I hear you're kind of honing in on the exact definition
yeah,
and
but I
malicious
think words
intent.
matter.
Yeah, but I still do think that gaslighting can happen on a lower level, and it's
Yeah,
still gaslighting. I think there are a lot of people who are really not aware of their self and how they come across. I mean, I know a lot of people, and I know you know the people I'm talking about. So there's a lot of people out there living their lives, saying whatever the hell they want to say, and they do not give a shit how they make other people feel, trampling on
yeah,
people's insecurities, emotions, and really fucking with some people.
I, I,
And
I think you're right. Yeah, look, I think you're absolutely right, and I think that you know in this time of the universe that we've been together, I've seen how you have, and I've always I say this to you, and I say it to people about you, and in front of you, and not in front of you, like how amazing it is that you you do pay attention to these things. Like you did something or you do something, you had a pattern, and you get to a point where you're like, that's not healthy, or it's not healthy for yourself or me. You say to yourself, I'm playing Steph now. Or you're like, it's not healthy for that person. Like it's my daughter and I'm acting a certain way and I'm not trying to hurt them, but I'm doing something that is not helping them. I have to learn how to be better. I want to be better because I want that person who I care about to be better. I want our relationship. You think about these things. You think about it. You talk to me about it. You talk to your therapist about it. You do research about it. Like you think about how to be better. As you said earlier, it's about awareness. So
yeah, I think the awareness is the key.
yeah, but you have learned over time to be like, okay, but if I can not perfect this, but if I can get better at my own self-awareness, then I can be a better person and I can be better for the people in my world that care about me, that either are relying on me or I'm relying on or whatever it may be. And not everybody does that. To your point of people that do that to people, like gaslight people, they're like always telling them this and they're wrong about this and they criticize them this. In their minds, they're doing good. Like they
Yeah,
think that's good.
I believe that. Yeah,
You have to
I
you
believe
have to cook it this way. You can't do that. That's not how you make tea. No, that's not how you make tea. It is how I make tea. Watch, let me show you. Like that's not a wrong thing. It's not wrong that you like it this way and I like it that way. Like you know, we're not living in communism yet. Hopefully not ever, but we're not. So it isn't going to the store and there's one bar of soap. Like that's it. Like we have different tastes for a reason. And I think the more we can be open to that, and I think that sort of thing would squash gaslighting too. Because if you're aware that your behavior is hurting somebody else, then you're either just a really shitty person, and then you're just nobody's going to want to be around you, hopefully, and you'll wither away and wherever, or you'll work on being better. And I think the good thing is I think it's good that we do call out those people or we disconnect from those people so that maybe that guy who was I doubt it. I think he's still an asshole, but maybe he's now not an asshole to other people because of the way he was to me. Maybe I doubt it, but I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt. But anyway, so yeah, I think it's consciousness. It's really thinking. It's thinking about other people. I mean, we've heard, think before you speak. It's not we don't do that. Like there's a lot of these. I think a lot of this comes from lack of respect, lack of manners. Like I know that sounds like really old. I don't mean it in that way. Like I really don't. I just think it's courtesy, right? Like it's just like it's just courtesy.
Yeah, and so that's exactly it, actually. Um, the way we were raised, we're both, over 50, let's just say. And the way we were raised back in the 60s and 70s, a lot of it is different than how people are raised today. I'm sure most people don't even sit down and have dinner as a family anymore. I mean, that was a thing we always did when I was growing up. And as life has changed and evolved, and the family dinner isn't necessarily a thing anymore. And that's just an example. So the fact that I'm having conversations with my 20-year-old daughters about self-awareness and the term gaslighting and you know actually calling them out, not in a shitty way, not in a demeaning way, but in conversation, like that's actually gaslighting when you do that. And I think that is I'm happy for them that they can have these conversations, because that means that they are more self-aware than the average person. And when you are more self-aware, you're going to walk on the earth differently.
Yeah.
And we need more people to have more self-awareness.
Well, I mean, you started, right? Like, people say you started, like I'm saying it in a good way. Like you started acting differently with your kids because you wanted to make the relationship better and you were the adult, still are, and you're like, okay, if I want them to change, maybe I have to change. And so when you started making adjustments, when you start making your own adjustments and how you reacted, even if your instinct was like, oh, I mean, what, you didn't. You're like, you know what? I'm just going to listen now. This is my turn to listen. I'm going to process, and I'm getting an ulcer doing this, but I'm going to do it. Then,
Yeah.
when you say, "Hey, I need you to listen to me," well, they will, and they do, because it's respect is earned, right? Like that's another probably saying from the 1200s or whatever, but it is right. So and I mean, okay, I historically for centuries have always been like I lead with respect. Like by default, I'm respecting you. I don't care who the fuck you are. Janitor, CEO, doorman, person at the grocery store, head of a Fortune 500 company. I'm leading with respect. I could lose
Hmm.
that respect for you if you act a certain way or behave a certain way or treat me a certain way or do something to somebody else. I'll lose
Yep.
respect for the most powerful person on the planet. I don't give a shit. But I'm leading with respect. So we start this relationship, I'm respecting you. You blow that, that's on you. It's not on me. And I don't
Hmm.
think people don't have that as much anymore. I think a lot of people more like you gotta earn it. You gotta earn it. Like, well, I don't know. I mean, I think if you're if you're a human or an animal. I mean, I respect an animal until they get nasty with me, or pee on my leg. So I just by default, like I just think if we led with these things, we think about these sort of things, awareness, respect. I mean, I think it should change. It could change the universe, and it's not even any work. Like, there's no work involved in that.
I mean, I always think of that saying, if you want things to change, you have to begin with yourself. So honestly, whenever I come against something that's tricky or a person that I'm not getting along with or whatever it is, and there's like there's agitation, I always look at myself
Yeah,
and see how I can do better. I don't know why, I just do.
yeah.
I always do that.
One of the many things about us. I think that I mean, we do it in our own way, but there's a similarity. I mean, you see it. I mean, you see it all the time. Like where you're asking me like what's wrong or something, and I'm like yelling at myself, not yelling, but like internally I'm fucking screaming, but externally you're just hearing like shit. Oh, damn it, you didn't do that. Like, oh God, what you stop? Like you're hearing that and seeing the
Yeah.
whatever. But that's just me being like, no, you're better than this. Like you're better than like I'm saying to myself,
Yeah.
I'm better than this, and this is unacceptable. This performance, this behavior, so. I'm not saying the way I do it is the healthiest by any stretch. I mean, it's apparently comedic, but it's yeah. But I feel you. I feel you. All right, cool. Well, yeah, I think it's important. Look, I think it's important. And I think this goes for a lot of things that we talk about. My hope is that when people listen to this, maybe it'll get them to think about something they're not thinking about. And by all means, if you guys ever want to send us messages or there's topics you want to hear about, you can always message us, and we won't read them or pay attention to you. But feel free to message us anyway. And so, moving on to our next topic, which is kind of not related to anything, but something that comes up always, I think, with a lot of us, in the world we're living in now, is like, what are you streaming lately? Like, what are you watching? And it's interesting how that comes up a lot, right? Like, I don't.
It's like the weather. People talk
It's
about the
interesting, like,
weather.
hey, have you watched anything good lately? Yeah, you see anything good lately?
Yeah.
You watch anything lately?
Yeah.
Like, whatever. So I'm gonna let you lead, and I'll jump in. I'll jump in because you're not the scream queen. I don't think you're the stream queen, but you're certainly the stream princess. And you found a way to binge in a hilarious way.
It's for you to watch me binge.
It's hilarious because I enjoy it. I mean, yeah. So anyway, the topic or the question is, what are you streaming lately? So the
Oh, okay.
question
So
is to you.
I will share what I just finished that took a little while. I watched Mr. Robot from 2016, which is unusual because I really don't watch very many older series in my newfound love of TV streaming. But and that was a weird one. I have to say, overall, it was a little sci-fi weird, but I did enjoy it, and I thought that the acting was very good, and it was a really interesting topic and also very timely. So many of these these series, even if they're like from 2010 or whatever, they're a long time ago. Some of them feel so relevant today, and that one felt very relevant in many ways.
It
So that was
most
one I just
definitely is.
finished,
Yeah, it most definitely is. Yeah.
and
Well, the research
also,
just to before you
yeah.
move on to the next one, like
Sure.
that just dropped on Netflix. So you wouldn't have had.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So there's two parts.
yeah. That's true.
So one,
Yeah,
when it came out, which is when I saw it, it was on USA, and you didn't watch TV, so there was no
no,
way you would have ever caught it before. And it just recently, I think, I don't know, within a month or week, whatever, it dropped on Netflix. So now you saw it really for the first time. You may have heard about it, but it wouldn't have come up in your consciousness, and
I
it wouldn't
never
have come
heard
up
about
anywhere
it.
because it
No.
wasn't anywhere to be seen. And I will say, and I enjoyed
Yeah.
watching bits and pieces of it again with you because it's been a while. I didn't remember all the little shit about it. I mean, the acting is superb and the directing is amazing and all that sort of stuff. But hilariously, I didn't remember this, of course. They didn't do it so much later in the series, but early on, they talk about USA Network and they have commercials from like other USA Network shows, and it's like this is hilarious. Like
Oh, that's
it's like
funny.
hilarious. Like you probably didn't even pick up on it so much, but I was like, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
Like
the pop culture that is
yeah,
sprinkled in some
yeah.
of
It was.
these.
I thought it was pretty funny. Yeah. Anyway, sorry to interrupt, but
I also love I love when things are filmed in New York City because I can't help but like try to figure out where they are. And in that show, they they filmed right on our street, right across the street. So
yeah,
that was kind of interesting. Like, wait, there's our building. That was interesting.
yeah. There were a lot of. I mean, I recognized a lot of the locations actually.
Yeah, it's definitely very cool. And then right now, I'm seeing the last 6 episodes of Yellowstone. So that kind of cut off last year, and then we couldn't find the part two anywhere. And just last night, I found it. So
Yeah, it was
I'll
very
be
weird
interested.
what they did with that. Like, I don't totally understand. Like, it went on
Yeah, that was
another.
weird.
It went to like this other network, and like we subscribed to a bunch, and it was like,
It made
what
no
if we
sense.
didn't, and we couldn't find it. It was just and everybody I looked and I searched online and I asked people like, oh, it's on this, but and a lot, I was, whatever. So I'm glad you're getting to watch it.
Yeah, yeah,
It's another really
entertaining.
great, interesting, entertaining show. Yeah, I mean, I'm streaming vicariously through you, quite frankly. Like, I mean, okay, in the apartment we have one TV, and in the house we have others, and so I could always watch something. If you'll watch something I don't want to watch, I could watch something else. I definitely like watching stuff with you. Obviously, I enjoy that. I enjoy spending time with you and doing stuff together and experiencing stuff together. And we watched that Eddie Murphy movie the other day, which was cute. I was
Cute.
not his best
That
work.
gets it cute. That just gets it cute.
It gets it cute. It was nice, but it wasn't like amazing. I was expecting a little bit more.
Wait, wait. The scene with the pancakes. For anyone out there
Pancakes,
who
the
watches the
pancake,
new
the pancake scene, the pancake scene. So it's probably available on YouTube. So if you,
that is worth
whatever the name
doing.
of that new Eddie Murphy movie is with
That is classic Eddie Murphy at his
who
finest.
else is in it? Kiki Palmer and Davidson.
Oh,
Um,
Pete.
Pete
Pete
Davidson. Yeah.
Davidson. Yeah.
There's a scene at a diner where Eddie Murphy does something, and it's old Eddie Murphy. So it's like
You know what? I bet that he improvised that.
I wouldn't
I
be
bet that
surprised.
was
I would not be surprised.
that was the best thing in that show.
It was right out of like Beverly Hills Cop and like Trading Places. Like it was that Eddie Murphy. It was old school Eddie Murphy.
Effing funny.
Yeah.
Effing funny.
The rest of it was like it was cute, but it was not like amazing or anything like that. But it's interesting for me. It really is, and it's I haven't really figured this out yet. Like being in the industry and in the business, I, I, I I'm a huge fan. Like I could watch TV and movies and streaming all day, every day. Like I could just do that and be very happy. I wouldn't eat bonbons or any of that shit, but I would just like sit and watch. Like I could do that all the time. I love it. I just do all kinds of movies. Obviously there's certain ones that I may gravitate more towards the others, but I could just go and go and go and go all day, all night, like no problem. But there's this whole thing like work, like actually have to do things and make a living and all that sort of stuff. But I think interestingly, as I got into this business as opposed to before when I was peripherally in the film TV world, but now more in it, like in it, there's a part of me that sees it as work. Like I have to do it for work. Like watching things for work is important. Like me seeing
Mhm.
a new show, a new thing. How did they shoot it? Who's this new actor? Who's this director that I heard about? What's the. But the other part of me that's that fan sees it as like doing something that's fun and enjoyable. And I somehow that's where I block myself. Like I like you haven't earned that. you haven't earned the right to take 2 hours or an hour or 3 hours and go watch this. Like, you haven't earned that time off. I look at that as like recreational, which it is, right? And I'm
Reward.
like, no, 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 you
Yeah.
got more work
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a reward. And I'm like, no, 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 you got too much work to do. So like you're watching, and like when we're here in the apartment and you're watching, like I'm kind of a little bit watching, and then once in a while I'll sit down next to you for like
No, I
15 minutes,
feel,
and then I'll
I feel
come back.
like guilty.
I'm sorry.
I feel a little guilty.
Yeah, you don't really look like you feel very guilty, quite frankly. But when I'm like really like I've got like really really shit to do, like I'm like okay, I gotta do it. I go to the other room, and I'm like I close the door, I go to the room, and I just concentrate because I just
Yeah.
have to do it, which is fine. A lot of the time, stuff I'm doing is just stuff that I have to get done, and sending some messages that I don't need like total silence and total concentration.
Yeah.
Like I can
Right.
get certain
Mhm.
things done. Um, but yeah, I haven't figured out that like okay, you're entitled to this. It's the same thing with like working out. Like I don't. It's I'm the first one who always says we all find time for what's important. I say it in nausea, right? But
Mhm.
I don't justify it, right? To me, that's like okay, you should. That's not productive. I don't see that as being productive, even though it's probably could be the most productive thing I could do to myself for myself. I just don't do it. So I don't have the latest streaming. Anything that I've streamed lately is whatever Steph has been streaming lately. So Mr. Robot, now Yellowstone, Gilded Age. What were you watching before? We watched Succession. Yeah, but as of the moment, it's Mr. Robot, Yellowstone. So you're gonna have to find
I
something
think
new.
I'll start Wednesday because that's back.
What's back on Wednesday?
Wednesday, the
Wednesday's
show.
back on Wednesday. Yeah, I have a little.
Well, I don't know if it's on Wednesday, but it's the show with the girl Wednesday.
So Wednesday's not on Wednesday.
I don't know when it is.
That would be hilarious, right?
Yes, but I don't think that's the case. So
Yeah, I'll get back to you on that if I'm going to watch Wednesday again. But
yeah,
yeah, we'll see. Do you know what you're going to watch next, by the way, or no?
I think I'm going to watch Wednesday. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, okay.
The show Wednesday.
No, I'm caught up to you now. Okay, I was a little slow.
Oh, okay.
I was a little
I'm a
slow.
little
I haven't had enough coffee today. Give me.
okay. You haven't had 5, 6, 7 cups of coffee yet?
No, shit. I'm really behind. I've only had like
Uh,
3 or 4.
that is the problem then.
It's a big problem. Yeah, it's a big problem. Yeah, yeah, it's a problem. It's a problem.
Mm.
It's a problem. I can feel it. I feel a little slow today.
I would say there's a lack of things to stream right now. I think I'll see Landman. I haven't seen that.
Oh yeah, that looks good. Look,
Doesn't
babe. There's a lot.
doesn't
Look, there's a lot. Like we have favorite.
right.
We have.
Okay, I do have to make a comment about one thing that is streaming that I think is horrible. And I watched a couple episodes, and it's that Hunting Wives. I give that a big thumbs down. I do. I think it's stupid. I do.
God, the love pouring out of me right now is just it's.
Yes. Just a dumb show.
And there you go,
Sorry.
Steph's
Somebody
Steph's,
likes it.
Steph's picks of the week. I don't know. This could be a regular thing. I got to tell you. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to talk to the producers and see. Wait, I am.
Maybe
I
a
am.
good
Wait, I
drama.
am one of the. I am one of the producers. I'm gonna go talk to myself and the rest of the production team.
I might have to make my own movie at some point.
Yeah, I. We know. We know. It's in the works, babe. Don't worry. We'll get you there. It's a
I
couple of
mean,
things on your plate right now. We'll get. You never know, right? You could have your first thing, and it could be an Academy Award winner. That'd be amazing.
yeah,
Possible.
it's possible.
Okay. Well, I think it's that time of the week for rapid fire questions.
All right. Are you ready, Mr. Schweid?
Okay, that's just you doing sound effects is just it's too good. It's just
I didn't do them.
who's going.
I didn't. That wasn't a sound effect. That was just me.
That's that's my point. That's exactly my point. Um. Anyway, do you want me to ask you first, or you want to ask me first?
I'll ask you.
No, I can ask you first.
Okay.
Okay. You ready?
Sure.
Okay. Favorite movie you've rewatched way too much?
Favorite movie I've rewatched. It has to be a comedy. Okay, I'm gonna say Step Brothers.
You've watched Step Brothers too many times. You've rewatched it that many times.
Yeah, I would watch it again too.
Wow.
I think it's hilarious. I think comedies, they're rewatchable to me.
Okay. Um, would you rather be stuck in a rom com or an action movie? Stuck in,
Actually,
like stuck in.
oh, Stuck in. Hmm.
Yeah, I'd had a feeling. That's why I clarified. If you were stuck in a movie, what would you rather be stuck
Okay, well then I guess I'd rather be in a rom com if I have to be there
in? Yeah, you're stuck.
forever.
You're stuck. You can't get out.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, rom com.
Okay. And last one for this week for you is first job ever.
I had the strangest first job. I was 15, just turning 16, and I got a job at an eye doctor's office. And I taught people how to put contact lenses in their eyes. And if they're adults, I was like
Apparently not.
this 16-year-old girl showing them how to stick a contact lens in their eyes.
Did you poke him in the eye?
No, I was really good at it.
I would have poked people in the eye. I wouldn't have done. I would have been good.
I aced that job.
You've aced every job you've had. What job did you ever have that you didn't ace?
Oh no, I got fired from a job
What'd
once.
you do?
It was from Barney's,
You stole
New
something.
York. I did not steal
Your friend
anything.
stole something.
No, I have never
No, I know you
stolen
did,
anything.
but didn't your friend steal something?
No, no stealing happened.
Okay.
He was a full-time employee at
Yeah.
Barney's. I was a part-time employee. I was a fashion student
Yeah.
at
I remember
Parsons.
this story.
And yeah, and they were a pair of thigh-high black leather boots, and she had a bigger discount. And so she bought them for me with her bigger discount.
Yeah, but you.
And when we went to leave, they were paid for. They told her that these aren't for you, and they fired her and me.
You didn't do anything wrong.
I know, but that's where they fired us.
Ah, those are the good old days when you just fire people for whatever, just because you felt like it.
Yeah, yeah.
Kidding, kidding,
So,
joke, kidding. Yeah, that's a shitty.
so
That's a shitty. That's a shitty reason to get fired. That's
I did get fired from a job
got it.
for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So back at you, Jay. What was your first job ever?
You're going the other order.
It's okay.
Okay. You're such a rebel. First job ever. Well, technically, I mean, I worked with my dad, like helping him when I was a little baby in diapers. But my first
How
job,
did you help your dad when you were in
I
diapers?
did. I was always there for my daddy.
Oh,
I always helped him. He was doing something, and I would give him like the screwdriver. I'd give him the tool, and
aw, that's
um,
cute.
yeah, he was. He used to be able to lift air conditioners by himself, like when they were heavy, not these plastic ones. All 5'3" of them, he would literally be able to lift. You ever see those old window unit air conditioners? They were fucking heavy. Like he would lift it himself and put it in the window and install it. And so then I would hand him a tool. But that didn't count. So actual job was delivering groceries from the local. So the second I could get my working papers, I got my working papers. And that was the first job. And the first job on the job was delivering 6 egg cartons filled with groceries. I had to make 2 trips to building in the neighborhood, which was a nice building in our neighborhood, doorman, the whole 9 yards. And I got a 50-cent tip. And it
What
was,
did you do with the money?
I didn't know what to say. It was such a shitty tip. Like, it was such a shitty tip.
Oh, you thought that was a
No,
shitty
it's
tip.
not even
Oh,
what I thought it was a shitty tip. Everybody was like, that's a shitty tip. Like, for
oh,
6
okay.
egg cartons, I should have gotten like a couple of bucks. And
Oh,
some
okay.
some jobs I did deliveries, I get a $5 tip. Like I didn't do it for the
Oh, okay.
tips. Like whatever, yeah, I get $1 or $5, $2.
Yeah,
For
right.
50 cents on 2 trips, I had to go to a building because I could only push so many carts in one
Yeah.
trip, all the way back downstairs, back to the store, pick up the other 3 boxes, go back over. She gave me 50 cents. It was a good
Did
lesson.
you deliver
It was a,
to her anymore?
yeah, she was a customer, but she was. It was a good lesson. It was a
Yeah.
very good lesson. It was a good lesson that you
So
know
what was the lesson though?
that nobody's just going to give you anything. You got to work hard and you got to be respectful and you still got to do your job. And it's not,
Okay.
it's doing a good job is the most important thing. If you get a bonus, the tip is the bonus, right? Like to me, you don't
Yeah.
have to, but it that made me a really good tipper. Like, that's for sure. Like
Yes,
I've
you
been,
are a very good
I've been
teacher.
told,
You.
I've been yelled at by friends sometimes for over tipping. Like I'm like, yeah, but whatever. So yeah.
Yeah, you did very well.
Yeah. Anyway,
Okay, second question. Favorite movie. I already know the answer to this. Favorite movie you've watched way too much.
you know what it is.
Yeah,
You're sure you know what it is.
I think I know.
Um, So too much is an opinion. Let's put it that way.
Well, like my answer,
Yeah, no,
I don't.
I'm joking. I'm joking. But
You're.
I'm saying if you asked me, I don't think it's too much. But if you ask anybody else,
I mean, I would still watch my movie more, so it's not too
they
much.
would probably say the Matrix. All three of them probably was what people would think.
Hmm.
But there's quite a few that I've watched. Like probably watched Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure more than most people have on the planet. And when I tell you I watched it a lot,
Never liked
I watched
that.
that a lot. So, but I would say Matrix, but I don't think I watch it too much because I learn something new every time I watch it. So,
Yeah. Okay, and stuck in a rom-com or action movie.
well, to be honest, I feel I'm stuck in both right now on a pretty much daily basis. So
Ah,
it's kind of not much of a choice. I
yeah,
think. I think.
that's kind of true. Kind
I
of
think
true.
our life, in many ways, is a rom com. I think it's. I mean, we have our moments of hilarity, but the romance is amazing. The happy endings and all the beauty of it. So I think there's that. But if you're saying if I had a choice and I had to pick, then I would pick action movie. Even though I love comedy and I love rom coms, and I can get teary eyed over any of that shit. I'm more of like jumping off buildings and car chase scenes and you know saving the day and without getting credit for it and then just riding off into the sunset. Nobody knows where I am and can find like that's I'm more that. So if I had to be stuck, so
Cool. All right.
all right, boys and girls. Well, I think that's a wrap on this week's episode. I'm I had fun. I hope everybody else. Hope
Yeah.
anybody. I hope all the 3, 4 people that are watching this enjoyed it too. Yeah, thank you. Your checks in the mail. And that's a wrap on this week's episode of Pickles and Pasta with
Steph,
and Jay.
great to
Bye.
see
Have a
you.
great day.
Bye.
Bye.